The Super Bowl stage is set, and it's exactly the way that the NFL wanted it. Now, we're going to have a bit of a talk here because I believe with certainty that the NFL is now rigged. And we saw it, blatantly obvious, guys. So obvious that everybody's seeing it. Before, this was something that we're like speculating, maybe is it rigged, this and that. Now we know for a fact. We saw it in the Ravens game, guys, yesterday, and a little bit in the 49ers, but more obvious in the Ravens and Chiefs game because they really wanted this Taylor Swift narrative to come through. There were so many signs leading to this. So I'm going to highlight and just recap. I want to recap the games. I want to talk about some points here. I'm going to highlight some of the plays that just did not go the way that they should have. Some penalty calls that should have been called against the Chiefs, especially in that fourth quarter. I want to highlight this, some taunting calls, some of that pregame drama. I want to talk about this, guys, because again, I don't like what happened in this game. The Ravens were absolutely screwed. Now you could make a debate that the Ravens didn't play well, and they didn't, right? They didn't play. I don't know whether Lamar was paid. He didn't look like the same Lamar we saw all season. So it was a crazy game. I watched every single play. I took notes. I highlighted. I got some screenshots I'm going to share with you guys. We're going to dive into this open discussion. Now, I want to make this super interactive, so it's very important that, guys, that you comment below and let me know your thoughts. I really value your opinions. And if you're new to the channel, I know that over like 70% of the people that watch this video aren't subscribed. So guys, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. This is the Truth to Sports, fantasy football, NFL news. I'm going to cover everything for you guys. Stuff that the mainstream media isn't covering, isn't talking about. And I'm going to be straight with you guys. Okay. I'm going to call it how it is. And again, I don't pull any punches. I call it how it is. Okay. So subscribe, thumbs up, just smash that thumbs up. Takes a second of your time. And again, comment below. I value your opinion. Okay. So let's dive into this. Let's start off with yesterday's video. I did a video yesterday saying that I wanted Baltimore and Detroit for the Super Bowl. That's who I wanted. That's what I think a majority of the United States wanted for the Super Bowl. They wanted to see the Lions, compete in the Super Bowl. Last time they made a conference final was 1991. They wanted the Lions to be there. I wanted the Lions to be there. I'm all about the dog. I like the team. I like the offense. I'm a big Jahmyr Gibbs fan. I like Laporta. I was a Laporta believer in fantasy. The only guy telling you to draft him this year. He was off the radar for every other fantasy football analyst, but that's not here nor there. I like the Detroit Lions, okay? I like the fan base. The fan base looks super passionate. They were excited about everything, okay? So I said in yesterday's video that I believe it's going to be the Chiefs, and I believe it's going to be the 49ers. Massive market in San Fran, big franchise. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana days, just a big franchise, California, big market, right? So this is how I said, and I go back and watch the video. I explained all this, right? Now, there was a lot of narratives with Taylor Swift as of late that were being highlighted, including her stalker that, getting in and out of jail, going to her apartment, whatever, all this stuff, right? There was that narrative. Then there was AI photos that were leaked just prior, coincidentally, before the conference finals, all this media hype around Taylor Swift prior to this game, building her up all season with Travis Kelce and this love story, whether it's fake or not, rumors that they were engaged, all this stuff, which again, apparently they're not. So a lot of this buildup, it was almost too obvious. And then they make the Ravens the favorite, and then they give you this purple and red logo from years prior where these colors have matched up to the actual teams that actually made it to the final. And I said that this was a distraction. I mentioned that, and sure enough, it was. So the Ravens are out, and the thing about it is there was no chance they were going to win that game. Let me tell you why. So first and foremost, the Taylor Swift narrative, right? They want Taylor Swift there. They want to bring the Swifties or Swifters or whatever the hell they're called. I really don't know what they're called. Prior to this, still to this day, I couldn't even name one Taylor Swift song. I really couldn't. I got her confused with Kylie Minogue and Miley Cyrus. I could care less about all these singers, okay? Now they've infiltrated the NFL, and it's not what the fans want. If you go to the comments, if you go to the NFL pages, if you go to all of these pages, the team pages, where they show Kelce kissing, what's her name? Miley Cyrus. They don't like that stuff. Nobody likes this stuff. A majority of people do not. And all these fans that they've drawn in, these Swifters, these people are not true NFL fans. They're not. And nobody wants to see the Super Bowl. There's nobody that wants to watch the Super Bowl, unless you're a diehard Chiefs fan, a Swifter, and a 49ers fan, then I get you want to watch it. But a majority of the US are pissed off at this. Okay, so you've got the Swifter narrative, and understand, I'm going to go through the matchup. I'm going to go through some of those calls I didn't like. I'm going to talk about it. But understand that there's a political motive here, everybody. Now, I just read some sort of poll. Now, I'm not here to swing left or right or whatever. I'm not here to make any judges. This is not a political podcast. But I will tell you that they are going to use Taylor Swift, and they're trying to sway the NFL to vote Democrat. Again, I could be wrong. You could go, whether you're a Biden or Trump fan or whoever is going to be running for each side, this is going to swing votes. This is a political move on the side of the NFL. It's a political move using Taylor Swift's audience to sway votes one way or another. Okay, but again, this is just facts. This is what's going to happen. I just saw an article on TMZ. It was like, oh, TMZ. No, listen. There's a bunch of other sites saying this, that Taylor Swift is going to swing votes. That's the whole point of this. They've built her up. They've got this love story. They've infiltrated the NFL, and that's what's going on. Okay, that's just a fact. This is facts. They're going to use her to swing votes for this political election this year. It is what it is, okay? Now, prior to the game, Kelce already pissing people off. I did a video, got over 300,000 views plus. I did a video showing it and saying that Kelce and Mahomes are trash because they were throwing away Justin Tucker's kickstand. Tucker, the kicker for the Ravens, whatever, Tucker. They threw away his stand prior to the game, just being dicks. Now, I think Tucker was trolling a little bit, but that's no way to handle it. So there was some pregame drama going into the game. I'm going to just, again, highlight some of these calls because, again, it just was not going the Ravens' way. From a playability standpoint, Lamar wasn't playing optimal, but also the refs weren't helping it. There was a taunting call. I want to talk about this taunting call here against Flowers, okay? He made a catch, and the defender, I don't know who the corner was here, actually grabbed on to Flowers' leg, wouldn't let it go, so he got up, kind of stood over him. It wasn't even like a major flex there, it was just kind of like a stand over him. They called him for taunting. There was another play where I think one defender came in and kind of bumped Kelce started this push, instigated. Another guy came in, kind of head-butted him a little bit. It was a light nudge. That got called against, the Ravens. So there was all these calls that you could say were, somewhat legit. But what really got me was the fourth quarter, okay? Odell Beckham in particular, there's this one catch near the end zone, and this was a second out of two where he was absolutely mauled near the end zone, okay? When I say absolutely mauled, I mean prior to catching, before he got near the end zone, was absolutely, the guy was all over. He was blanketing him. They didn't call this. This would have easily been a first and goal and a touchdown. Instead, it led to a Lamar Jackson interception. Okay. And then prior to that, I think one or two plays before, I think it was a drive before, they threw it up for Odell. Odell was held, and you could see his arm was grabbed. There was about 4 to 5 plays where there's penalties that should have been called against the Chiefs that weren't called. So the refs decided, whether you believe it's rigged or not, the refs decided they were not going to call penalties on the Chiefs in the fourth quarter. And again, it was multiple holds on Odell Beckham Jr. Likely was held, a tight end, right? And I even posted, again, this one got a lot of views as well on my Instagram, right? I posted this, it's on TikTok. Go check out my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor, where Isaiah Likely was held by the Chiefs defender, and Tony Romo called it. And even they got a second opinion from, I don't know who the other guy was, Blandino or one of those other guys, came in and said, hey, this is a holding call, should have been a holding call. So, guys, I don't know how much more obvious it could have been that fourth quarter, but they decided not to call penalties against the Chiefs in that fourth quarter. So again, it was the Odell hold, it was the Likely, it was the taunting, it was a bunch of stuff that just does not go their way, okay? And again, the Flowers dive into the end zone where he fumbled, I can get that. That happens. I don't think that was, planned or anything like that. It happened, but it was just a crappy fourth quarter. And if you didn't see it, then I suggest you get better glasses or something like that, because this was clearly fixed. They wanted Taylor Swift. At the end, all they kept showing was Taylor Swift, and throughout the game and at the end, and social media, it's constantly bombarded with stuff. And you can see in people's comments, people have had enough. They don't want to see it. A lot of people don't want to watch the Super Bowl. A lot of people are annoyed. I'm annoyed. And you're saying, well, why do you hate Travis Kelce? Guys, there's a bunch of reasons why I don't like Travis Kelce. Number one is his arrogance. That's the biggest one, right? The cockiness, the arrogance. If you go back, guys, prior to the season, he punched his teammate out. They were wrestling. wrestling. He punched his teammate out. You saw the taunting, the arrogance during the game. You saw, his ad with the big pharma, right? He did that whole ad with them. And I'm not telling you whether you take the jab or not to take. I'm not here nor there, but that's not my decision to influence you to take something that was experimental with a lot of side effects. That's whatever. It's your decision, but he shouldn't be promoting something that has this many question marks, okay? That is someone's decision to make an informed decision. Whether you're your child, you should ask your parents or get an informed decision or talk to a doctor, something like that. You should get the data, get the information, okay? And then he's out there promoting something that's been that doesn't even work, for one. And number two, we know this, right? It doesn't stop the spread, or it doesn't prevent it. It doesn't do anything, really, from what I know, okay? Again, I'm not a doctor, but this is 4 years out. This is what are we going on the fourth year? And you're still promoting this months ago, right? So he's talking about this stuff. He's cocky and arrogant, again, it's too much. It's constantly bombarding me with this BS. So everybody's had enough. Unless you're a Chiefs fan or a diehard Kelce fan or a Swifter, then it is what it is, okay? So again, that's my opinion. If you want to do an ad, do something that you understand, right? So if I'm selling Manscaped, I use the trimmer, right? And you can say, well, Joe, he took the jab. We don't know that, right? We don't know. All I know is that it's splitting people's audience. And the thing about that whole ad was that he never let anybody comment. If it's such an ethical product, why can't we talk about it? Why can't people in the comments talk about it? That's all I'm saying, right? So again, I'm not here to tell you to take it, not to take it. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not that. But what I am telling you is that ad really annoyed a lot of people, including myself, okay? And I think he got $20 million for that ad, okay? But again, back to the rig stuff, okay? No calls went for them at all. It was ridiculous, and they obviously wanted Taylor Swift in there. Again, this is facts, right? This is absolute facts. I called it. Go watch the video before. So that was BS. And then when you look at the Lions game, the play calling at the end was ridiculous. Now, I don't know whether Dan Campbell's in on this, whatever. I doubt it. I think he wanted the Lions to win. But if you take a look near the end here, and I'm going to pull the screen up here, there was about 1:05 minutes left, okay? And they did try to throw it in prior to this play, but they actually they had all their timeouts left. Then they ran the ball with David Montgomery. Now, when you run the ball, you're going to work, you're going to end up in a position where the clock's going to run, and you have to use one of those timeouts. By using that timeout near the end of the game, you are now put yourself into an onside kick type scenario where, they should have just maybe kicked the ball, right? Even before this play, they had more time. It was 1:30 minutes, 1:20, whatever it was. Kick the ball because they were down 10 points. Kick the ball, right? You still have your 3 timeouts left. You stop the 49ers, then you have a chance for a Hail Mary or other chances to drive down the field and get that touchdown. There could have been way more time saved. So bad coaching on, completely at the end of that Lions 49ers game, first and foremost. Now, I didn't watch this as closely in regards to refs. Everything seemed legit. I know there were some calls that didn't go, the Lions' way. I understand that. The fact that they, were up and they lost, something's weird there. They just kind of folded. I don't know, just really, really weird. So, I think, honestly, that one, it didn't seem as, and again, comment below, maybe I missed something here, but it seemed like the Chiefs game was a little more obvious in regards to just the refs not wanting to call penalties at the end. And again, I just think it was more of a coaching thing at the end of the Lions game. But either way, I feel that no matter what, I think they wanted the 49ers and the Chiefs at the Super Bowl, okay? Just it's absolutely crazy conference final weekend. Now, who's going to win it? At this point, I don't think it really matters. At this point, they've got their money. They're going to get the Swifters there. They got their narrative met. It's going to be a political thing as well. It's going to swing votes once they build the narrative. They've infiltrated the NFL. They're trying to get more people to vote left. Because that's where, unless Taylor Swift comes out and wants to support Trump, which I really don't think that's going to happen. I think she's bought and paid for. Okay, but anyway, so that is my opinion on this. That is my research on this. That is what I saw. I don't put the blinders on, man. I see it how it is. Now, some people are going to be in the comments hating and say, well, Joe, no, this is not rigged. This is not fixed. They don't want Taylor Swift there. They could have easily, the Ravens played like crap. Yeah, they played like crap. But again, watch the fourth quarter. Watch all those holding calls. It did not go the way of the Ravens, okay? It just did not. The refs did not want it. So that's how I feel. I think a lot of people agree with me. They don't like it. Nobody wants to watch this Super Bowl. I may not watch it. I'm still debating on this. I really am not a fan of Mahomes and Chiefs and the arrogance and the throwing of the kickstands and the punching of the teammates and the advertising of things that people are torn on and just, being a media puppet. Just not a fan of this stuff. Not a fan of this cookie cutter BS. And they're just shoving it down your face just for the narrative, okay? So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys think. That's how I feel on this. Comment below, subscribe if this is making sense to you. Thumbs up. Love to get your feedback. And in regards to the Super Bowl, again, I don't care who wins. I may do a preview on this, but I've lost, the excitement of this. I wanted to see Lamar there. I wanted to see the Lions there. And clearly the refs did not want that for this Super Bowl, okay? They wanted the Chiefs, 49ers. That's what they got. Not what the fans want. We're going to see how the reception is for this. Now, mind you, I think people are still going to watch this either way, but I think it would have, more people would have liked Detroit in the final for sure, and maybe even the Ravens. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Those are your NFL playoff highlights. Let's talk about it in the comments. So.